country, the world's greatest critic. He's going to come out here. We're going to, I guess, do some critique of religion, maybe even of the show so far, maybe even of that hat. Anything can happen. So would you please welcome the world's greatest critic, Gilles Lefrog.
Dim the lights. What a brilliant touch. Lighting in a theater.
So,
Rick has been here.
And he specifically asked that you get that.
Yeah, that is Rick.
So,
What I have done is I have just completed reading a book called The Barber.
well, could I impose, before we get into the meat, now you are the world's greatest critic. I think maybe we ought to establish your credentials first before we go any further.
Well, I am the world's greatest critic. Is there any argument?
Well,
I thought not. Merci. That is French, but thank you.
merci.
Oh, you're welcome. I could do 20 minutes too.
How did you get started as a critic?
Well, I just decided, well, first I must explain I come from not this country, but France, another country. And in France, the most exalted position that a child can strive to achieve is that of a critic. One who finds fault with things.
I see this is...
And I am better at that than anybody alive. I'm such a good critic, I can tell you what I think of you.
I don't want to know.
You may find out anyway.
Well, before the evening's over with, one way or another, I'm sure. Now, while we got you here, this is something, being a comic myself, all my friends are comic.
I know many of your friends.
Well,
There they are, by the bar. I've tripped over them in many an alleyway. And felt damn good about it.
What, as a comic, what we always wonder and have never understood, what is the French preoccupation, their reverence of Jerry Lewis? We don't understand.
Well, my friend, since this is a discussion of the topic of God, I think we can very easily work Jerry Lewis into the conversation.
You like Jerry?
Jerry Lewis is a genius! Jerry Lewis is the greatest cinematic man, comic man that is ever. You as a comic should revere his very work. His work speaks so much of the human condition. We are the way we are because Jerry made films about the way we are. It is a cycle that is yet incomplete and yet will go nowhere. All of Jerry Lewis's films are so representative of our entire... It's a microcosm of my life. In hook, line, and sinker. What is Jerry but ourselves? Jerry is every man. He is fishing. But what is the sea? The sea is life. The sea is the pool of futility that is existence. What is the fish? The fish is that which we oppose. The line is that which connects us. The lifeblood, the artery, the cord from your mother's womb. The enemy leaps from the water, impaling himself on our hero, our feeble hero, unable to fight off the spear of the swordfish. And yet what must happen now before he can receive medical treatment? He must relay his story to the doctor. The doctor is a symbol of fascism.
This is all from Hook, Line, and...
Hook, line, and sinker! Yes! Cinderella! Cinderella. Jerry's Apocalypse Now. But I wanted to come out today specifically for a specific reason. I have just finished reading the book, The Barber, and have written a consummate review of the work.
Well, would y'all like to know?
Ah! Thank you. It will sound non-rated as I have tapped it. Thank you very much. Tapped it. Where in America it is typed, in France it is tapped. That is why the museums are there. Wait, I have just read the Bible. Or rather, I think it should be called God, an autobiography. I was intrigued and amused by his use of semantics to communicate ideas. He calls himself God, but why? we are asked to accept him as a deity. He calls his book simply, or should I say totally, the Bible. Greek for the book. Such a poignantly precocious title. In many ways, this God reminds me of Sting. Italian wine? California. One problem I have with this novelli derives from the lead. Derives from the lead character. Truly unique in literary scope. We are shown a God of love, but that causes violence. A being of truth that causes confusion. For a lead character of such all-consuming magnitude, it is too vaguely presented to us. There's no background. He is just there. But he is everywhere. He is omnipotent. Omnipotent. All-powerful. What strikes this critic is merely a pandering to popular taste. A character of such breadth also deserves death. We need more human frailties in this all-powerful and infallible being. It is essential for the flow of the work. But my main trouble with the journalistic performance piece exists with a number of diametric inconsistencies. Example, God gives us free choice, yet he also makes laws. And what does he call these laws? Aha, commandments. Now, I do not have much trouble accepting these commandments. They are presented in a very believable fashion. And Moses, the 800-year-old man, talks to a burning tree. We have commandments. Also, these laws help create guilt and confusion, which are the very cornerstones of French cinema. Another problem arises from the translations. Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek are languages of consonants, and are therefore not translated well into a language like English, when an entire thought process can be vocalized through guttural vowel sounds. It's done so masterfully by your own Sly Stallone. You see my temper? Not to mention that many of the contemporary translations of the Bible, when unable to understand the original text, merely supplement the incomprehensible parts with their own insignificant ramblings, creating a vague parody of the original work, much like K-Tel with their previously unreleased Beatles tapes. The difference being that people who misinterpret the Bible and use violence to achieve their goals usually acquire vast sums of money and their own cable network. People who misinterpret the Beatles are put in jail. In this critic's opinion, Jerry Falwell, Charles Manson, and most nightclub owners share a common inability to judge art. But I am here tonight, so what can I say? Now I become even more confused in the New Testament with the introduction of the Son. A feeble attempt to make God persona appear more human-like. A meager attempt to raise a feeling of pathos for the God that one must fear. I do not understand this. A principal, while professing a great love for his Son and for mankind, proceeds to lead them through a labyrinth of absurd and contrived incidents, enveloped totally in some cataclysmic lack of communication and understanding, giving God the literary parallel of a celestial Willy Loman. Constantly battering his Son to make something of his life that will save all mankind, when all Jesus wishes to do is to work outside with his hands, breathing clean air. But men like Jesus were not meant to follow orders. Right, Pop? Leading to, of course, the eventual and heavily foreshadowed confrontation between Jesus and church and state. Who wins? My friends, this is no fairy tale fantasy. Yes. Our hero dies. Your friends do not drink enough. We are made to weep at this life of dubious battle. Professor. Peter betrays Jesus. Peter is Pope. He was Pope. And I have not been so confused by a story since I saw The Natural on film. Roy Hobbs strikes out for Robert Redford. Hits a home run. Yes, Jesus is dead and God lives. But they are one person. They switch it up. Perhaps the film version will have Jesus escape to lead a counterattack on the Romans, driving them out. Stallone as Jesus, and of course Jerry Lewis is God. And no doubt Richard Crenna as the Holy Ghost. First wafer part 2. And speaking of the film version, how would they handle the sensitive resurrection? Gently, with subtlety, with bold, dashing special effects via Lucas or Spielberg. Our author also craftily creates an environment for a sequel with the promise of the return of Jesus with all the pomp, circumstance, and regalia any one angry avatar could muster. I eagerly await its arrival. Thank you.